Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Fritz with some more blueprints tonight. Sorry. We are back after last night's fun adventure where we picked up another trophy. We unlocked every room in the mansion, so we are. And we also unlocked another room downstairs. We completed the clock puzzle finally after 3 attempts, including 2 last night. We got the sanctum door open with the key from the clock tower, so we don't have to worry about the clock tower anymore. And we also solved the sigil puzzle for Arc Ares, so it was very productive last night for those that weren't here. And I noticed that yet again my resolution is out, so let me just quickly put that one back. It is day 53. I believe we are 2 days away from New Year's. I believe it's December 29 in game. The goals for today, I think, is to clear the tunnel with experiments from the lab, as well as getting as many sanctum keys as possible. So the 3 sanctum keys I believe we're missing are the one in the mechanarium. Schoolhouse is good. I want to do the schoolhouse puzzle as well. The one in the mechanarium is one we need. The one in the music room is another. And if I find my notes, I'll be able to work out where the 8th and final one is. But let us start over on this side as I grab my notes back out. Where are we? My list of sanctum keys. The vault. There is one in the vault, so I think we need to unlock. Oh. One moment, please. My apologies for that one. Library is good. We do want a library. Because we did order History of Arinda. So I might go to library first. This may not be the best play, but I do want to see that one. We bought our last book in the bookshop as well, so we don't need to go back to the bookshop ever again. I will take a classroom. I will not open that door just yet. We will go to the library. I thought I ordered a book. Why is it not here? Either way, we will go for the Curse of Blackbridge. That is... I could have sworn I ordered the History of Arinda. That is rather unfortunate. Grade 1. Nice little apple to start the day. Don't think there's anything more we can learn in here though. We've uncovered all we can from here. Anything on the table. Sometimes you get lucky with an item on a desk, but not today. We can redraw a few rooms. Break room would not be a nasty one to get. Go with the break room. Tobacco machine in here. Oh, they've put in a coffee machine. Hello. All living staff have 1 month paid leave, must vacate the premises by Friday. Well, I haven't paid them recently. Staff contracts are no longer kept on the highest rank. Staff contract? Don't know what that means. Well, we know that that's not true. We know Mr. Moore. Rupert Maud has that one. That's the same one there. Okay. Rules for staff: 1 point per consecutive dartboard solved during breaks. Each week, point totals reset, and weekly leader gets an extended lunch. Huh. Do we know who all these are? AT is Kimberly Thomas, the lab assistant. AB is obviously Anne Babbage. AD. Is that the name that came up as pseudonym? Kirk Darren. 41. RM is the lab tech. Rupert Moore, I think his name was. HRCTRN. Can't remember the name of the groundskeeper. I think that might be HR. Anyway, 17 is 17. 12 reversed is 21, minus 20 is 1. 20 plus 1 plus 4 is 25, reversed is 52, minus 2 is 50, divided by 10 is 5. 20 minus 1 is 19, reversed is 91, minus 20 is 71, reversed is 17. A silver key. I would gladly take a T-shaped room here. Bedroom. Not the best option, but chance to come back through here just to pick up extra steps. Not terrible, but it does close us out a fair bit, so I am wanting to find a fair few more classrooms. See if we can get to the final exam as well. And ask and you shall receive, but I'm going to go drawing room here. I do get the gem back straight away. See how we go on the east side. Terrace would be handy. East Wing Hall is not bad either. East Wing Hall. We do have the Blessing of the Gardener still, so we have a lot of courtyards in the draft pool. Den is a no-brainer. We need the gems at the moment. Storeroom is excellent. That's a good spot for it. Try the other side of here first before we try to go north. That's a terrible draw. We shall do the free redraw. Courtyard is gems. We're going to want gems for today. Security door. That is not what I wanted to see. That is rather unfortunate. That is not. Alright, classroom again. I don't think there's much more to learn in the classrooms before the 5th grade. This one is mathematics. We know the basic mathematics ones. We need advanced mathematics. I think is, from what I've heard, 7 or 8. 6 or 7, I think. Ooh. Classroom bending north. Yes, please. Grade 3. We know about this one. This is chemistry. We've solved this puzzle already, but I'll take another apple. Observatory is not bad, but I might go Nook. I know I get the redraws, but the keys will come in handy later on. Like right now. Always forced. We can turn south here. Oh. May as well drive the classroom here. I mean, there's no point. I mean, there is a point going in. This one is the geography room. So this one's actually helpful in a way. Yeah, just trying to work it out. This is the third era. We're in the fifth era, so this is an old map. Nuance. Isn't Dowager one of the names of the angels? Yeah, that telescope right above that makes me think the telescope item will be handy in the planetarium or the observatory. One of the two. Yeah, I don't think there's anything more I can learn in here. Corridor's forced. If keycard is the thing that stuffs me up, I'm not going to be thrilled. Again, chapel forced there. That is okay though. The ladyship's chamber. I think that's my choice. Spare bedroom's not terrible, but I think this is the way I want to go. Walk-in closet gets me 3 gems, which would be handy. I know this shuts off the south. Oh, there's a telescope. Oh, hello. Umbrella and item? No, that's just sitting there. Any gems in here? Got the symbol for a Raja on it. Interesting. Fortunately, I don't think there's much I can do in here at the moment. Until I find her key, wherever that is. Definitely classroom. Out of gems, which is not good. We've made grade 5. A start. This is art class. Grab another apple. Nothing on the tables, I don't believe. Workshop is not bad. I think I try for a courtyard. That'll get me to... No, I can't get into the courtyard. Boudoir gives me gems. Funeral Parlor will give me gems. I think it's the best option at the moment. I'll only get 2 out of it right now. Oh, that's no, 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 no. I should have gone for the gems first. Oh. Oh. F's in the chat, everyone. That's. Oh, that could have been this could have been a good day. No, I've run out of gems. Let's just get this one. Box is empty. 2 empty boxes. That's true. There are 2 true boxes. Yes. Oh, hang on. Whoa. That's always true. There are 2 true boxes. This box is empty. I think regardless, this box has the gems in it. And with that, I think we go back to the break room, end the day there, get our key card for tomorrow. Oh, that's annoying. That is annoying. It was looking so good right until that point where I decided, no, I'll get the gems next. No, I needed those 2 gems to get the ballroom, which would have set me up forever. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, one early keycard door has stuffed us up, and that's frustrating as anything. But we will get that book into the library, so it's not a completely wasted day, but it is a rather unpleasant day. Alright. All a day in the break room tomorrow, you'll start the day with a key card. I think that is what we do. Academic Villa, that's okay. Oh, day 54. December 30. And we start and go again. Okay. Do we go tomb or tool shed? I might go tool shed today. Battery pack. Yes, watering can's not terrible. That gets me gems. Not the worst start in the world. Let's see. Do I go storeroom or spare bedroom? I might go storeroom. Start us off. Breaker box is less important today because I start with a key card. going to go pantry so I don't lock myself out of heading that direction. I don't need it, but for directionality with the foundation where it is, that's the better option. I don't have a shovel, although kennel would be nice. Commissary's not bad either, because of the chance of getting a shovel, but I'm going to go kennel first, because this room is so much rarer. There's nothing on that table, nothing on that table, nothing in here. No, not even a dig spot today. Ooh. Nook for 2 keys, break room for... Nook. May not be the smartest place. I think it will work out slightly better long term. Break room's right there. Yes, break room. Coins on the table. Someone's paid for the coffee. And 18 is 18. 4 plus 3 is 7, times 3 is 21, reversed is 12. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Wait, hang on. No, 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. Subtract 10 is 90, reversed is 9. That's an interesting way to work it. 13 reversed is 31, plus 1 is 32, reversed is 23, minus 20 is 3. I only get the 1 key out of that, so yeah, getting 2 from the Nook was the right move. Bedroom's forced there, as much as I'd like the den. Sleeping mask is excellent. Nothing on the hand. Workshop's unfortunately forced there. Walk-in closet, I'm going to go with. There's a good chance I'll get my gem back. And I do. Not the best haul. I will take it. Shovel, that's actually big. Alright, so if I can find the broken lever hammer handle, I am laughing. And with the kennel, that's just going to open doors. That's a good find, that shovel. So we are not going to be struggling on keys today, hopefully. More coins. Coins aren't extremely useful unless I plan on buying out the trophy, the showroom. In which case I need about 200 of them. Where are we? Drawing room gets me a gem back. Keys less useful at the moment. I think drawing room is a good call. Alright, and let us try out here. Let's go for Eastwing Hall. We did make that room less rare last time. Chapel is fine. So let's get spare bedroom out of the way. Or a gem, I will take that. Ooh. Do I go lab to get an experiment running? Or do I go study to activate the chess puzzle again? I'll go lab for experiments. Let's see what we've got. Obviously, we're adding gold to our allowance. Each time we find trash while digging, we've got a shovel. So, we'll add a few experiments. Let us also add high rate of encounter of security doors. Oh, that's right. We worked out the password in the Blackbridge Grotto. So we can activate all of these now. I thought we upgraded that so we could access all of them at the same time. But we are going to set that one to high. Locked is fine. There is nothing on the tables in here. Sure I'm not missing any fruit because we have no reason to come back here. Ooh, office is nice. Cost me my gems though, which is not great. Might re-roll. Don't love them. Security is not helpful at all. Den would get me a gem, which makes it slightly better than Eastwing Hall. Already on the keys. Ooh. Yes to the pool. Go study. Nice bedroom would have been nice if I picked tomb. Might go the bedroom. The extra rerolls, I get bonus steps with the sleeping mask, so I'm not too opposed to it. I'm not too worried about locking myself off here. Well, that's not great. Actually, I'm fine with study here. I do get the gem from the safe and anything that's sitting on the table, which there isn't today. That's okay. There is a chest. I don't have the hammer. I burn a yeah. I'll burn a key. I'll burn a key on this one because I've got no reason to come back here. Car keys and a gem. That is worth it. Now this one we want a room branching north, which none of them do. Mechanarium would only give me 2 open doors. Commissary is facing the wrong way, so I need to hit a redraw on this one. Do I go library for another short day? I'm not making progress on any mysteries at the moment. I think I'm going to go library, just because even though it'll be a short day, I'm fine with that. Slow progress is progress. And we're coming to the stage now where we need to get lucky with what we do. Curse of Blackbridge. The legend of Blackbridge is one that's well known to the people of the Grand Realm, for versions of this tale have been passed down from generation to generation. Each new telling, the story has changed, becoming over the years more colourful, more verbose, and as one might expect, increasingly horrifying. However, with so many renditions and unique personal touches, the task of confining and binding this tale to text seemed an ambitious and impossible challenge. Over the course of my research, I have heard dozens of variations of the legend, and while the details would often change, I was surprised by how much the story's heart remained the same. Yet the more I listened, the clearer it became that there could never be a definitive version of this tale capable of capturing all the wonder and myth of Blackbridge. In the end, I chose to write down what felt most authentic, the story my grandmother told me as a boy long ago. Part 1. The Berry Picker from Oris. Many years ago, before peace had become a familiar word, there lived a group of rogues so wayward that the locals deemed it appropriate to call their number the Unholy Hounds. They were feral outlaws composed of society's worst in a time when society was at its worst, and for each crime that fearful travellers credited to the group, a dozen more lay unclaimed, each worse than the last. For the gentry, however, who often value their coffers more than their companions, no crime could measure more wicked than the group's primary enterprise, high-road robbery. One such member of this so-called band of rogues was a boy of 13 years, Jesper, who had not been lucky in life, having lost 2 brothers to war and parents to famine. In the years of hunger that followed, Jesper lived in a gutter behind the churchyard, relying on the nourishment of the scurrying bugs and weeds harvested from the cracks of the alleyway to sustain his pitiful existence. It is not surprising that a child aiming to escape such hardships would take an easy road out, an easy and well-travelled road paved with temptations leading out of the city and into the gentry lands, where loose purse strings entwine with the strands of salvation and glisten equally with the hope of opportunity. It was this road that eventually led Jesper to the end of his youth, a hidden cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. It was here that he met his surrogate family and saviours, the notorious gang of godless outlaws known as the Unholy Hounds. Despite the hardened circumstances that had led him to this vocation of banditry, Jesper was surprisingly tender-hearted, and was often teased by the group for being too kind for such an ignoble life. For this reason, Jesper was assigned the innocent role of a berry picker. It was not just innocence that set berry picking apart from the gang's more wicked undertakings, for it was the only duty performed without the safety of night's concealment. Jesper, no stranger to solitude, did not protest that he alone worked while the others slept soundly, tucked away in the cave at the bottom of Blackbridge Canyon. For one such occasion, Jesper decided to get an early start. He left the cave, berry basket in hand, and set out to the woods before the morning sun had even brushed against the tallest treetops. It was colder in the mornings, but the headway dawn afforded meant Jesper could reach the furthermost berry patches without worrying of being chastised for tarrying upon his return. It took over 3 hours on foot to reach his destination, and along the way, Jesper had passed by many a familiar bush, all priorly pillaged and so bereft of berries that one would have to dedicate several moments in earnest examination before finding a single one. Jesper was patient, but even patience had its limits. He was confident that even accounting for the time lost to this long stretch of travel, his efforts would be well worth the pain. Surveying the patches in this new grove surprised even Jesper. The red dots suspended among the leaves seemed as numerous as stars in the skies. Upon seeing such a bounteous sight, he clutched his berry basket tightly, and nearly toppled over out of joy. Once he had regained his senses, Jesper quickly made a decision. He would not reveal the location of his newfound treasure. Instead, he would earn the respect of his confederates who, upon seeing his yield, might attribute this success to hard work. Smiling at his plan, Jesper set off to fill his basket and was making steady strides in this task when the sound of thundering hooves interrupted him. A carriage. A carriage is approaching. The thought of it made Jesper freeze. Had he been so enchanted by his discovery that he had neglected to observe his surroundings? How could a roadway be so close? He ducked down and crept towards the impending sound, hiding behind one of the larger bushes nearby. It was only a moment before the sound source revealed itself. Within 50 paces of where Jesper hid, an elegant carriage with gold trim came soaring around a corner of trees, led by 2 beautiful white horses and conveyed by a stern-looking driver seated atop the vehicle, flaunting the most sophisticated regalia Jesper had ever seen. It was not just any carriage, it was a royal carriage. Even without having witnessed such a sight before, Jesper was certain. The sight had so transfixed Jesper that he stood awestruck, unable to tear away as the carriage approached. The little concealment the bush provided was soon proven unequal to the driver's lofty perch, and upon spotting the boy, he pulled the reins with such effort that the noble steed slid to a sudden halt with precise control. "You, boy, get out from behind that bush," he shouted with a rigidity that betrayed a modest amount of fear. "You startled me half to death coming round the bend of my own drive, and me seeing such an unfamiliar face in a place where there ought not be any face." Jesper quickly contemplated running. The man was much older, and his dress was suitable for courtly behaviour, not dashing through the bramble and mud. I was picking berries. Jesper raised the half-filled basket to allow the driver to see proof of his words. The demeanour of the man suddenly changed. It was a change that Jesper was familiar with. He had many times seen the same stern expressions on the most fiendish bandits melt away when presented with a berry basket. Any suspicions that the driver might have had instantly evaporated, for even the notion of a member of the unholy hounds picking berries seemed farcical. The softened expression even made allowances for a smile. Berries, eh? Say, you couldn't have picked a better spot for them, could you? I used to pick berries here as a boy. Jesper took his cue to finally step forward out from behind the bush, proudly brandishing his basket. I know, and what luck I found them. I have only just begun picking, and look how many I have. It would have taken me fourfold the time back home to procure this number. The driver bent down for a closer look. And where is your home, boy? It must be quite far. Jesper replied with a scripted response, a little south of Tanner Fork, just past the burnt woods. My God, that is far. You couldn't have come all that way only this morning. It was true, Tanner Fork was in the exact opposite direction that Jesper had travelled, and while that response would seem perfectly reasonable in a location closer to Blackbridge Canyon, he could see why it might seem less believable here. Sir, I have travelled much further for much less profit. I dare say there is no distance yet made by man that would not be worth undertaking for a prize such as these. Surely you have tasted them for yourself. Jesper felt happier with the response, as it seemed to amplify the man's smile. In my youth, often, but perhaps I took it for granted because I never had to travel very far, and even then my father would always drive us here in our carriage. I am so ashamed I never had to walk such a stretch to earn an equal reward. It was Jesper's time to smile. Then let my efforts reward us both today. He raised the basket even higher. A taste in memory of your youth, sir. The driver chuckled and removed one glove, bending over the seat to reach down to the basket, and at that moment his fingers touched the first berry. The dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Hang on. Hello. This story took a turn. At the moment his fingers first touched the first barrier, the dagger in turn met his throat, cutting through a superficial layer of skin and drawing blood. Jesper caught the man's startled eyes, and for that taste I will have your purse, sir, in memory of my youth. The driver's arm had gone stiff, his chin raised and trembling, more frightened than he had ever been before. Whether unable or incapable of speaking, he did not respond to the boy. Perhaps he did not think his jaw could afford to be engaged at this particular time. Jesper let the basket drop, freeing his other hand to probe the man's pockets. Do not mistake me, sir. I will not kill you if you give me no cause, though I will admit the thought of taking your carriage and leaving you the indignity of walking appeals to me. Unable to find a purse in the man's coat, Jesper pivoted to search the seat under him. Why have you no purse upon your person? The driver slowly raised his hand cautiously, pointing towards the carriage door behind him. Jesper lowered the knife's edge in a small degree to allow the man to speak, which he did in turn softly. There's a lockbox in the carriage. Well, come down then and grant me the courtesy of sparing your life and binding your hands. A concession I assure you of my tender heart, for it would be much easier to slit your throat. The man started to comply, slowly lowering himself from the driver's seat of the carriage. Once down, Jesper guided him away from the carriage to a nearby tree where he instructed him to get on his knees and put his hands behind his back. Excusing his inexperience, the man indulged Jesper while he figured out how to adequately bind him. The smile and kindness Jesper had seen on this man's face, now nothing more than a distant memory. In their place, cold, dark eyes displaying no emotion. I wonder, could I grant you the same clemency you are showing me? Jesper stopped, surprised by the question, but ignored it. Secured the final bindings and then hastily returned to the carriage. With one hand on the door's handle, he turned back to the man. If there is no lockbox, there will be no clemency. Inside the carriage was surprisingly dusty and unswept, a stark contrast to the elegant and polished golden facade of the exterior. It had apparently been many years since a passenger had enjoyed passage in this vehicle. This all but confirmed what Jesper had suspected. The driver of this carriage was not a liveried servant in the employ of some greater master. Any curiosity that this observation might have further produced was quickly abandoned upon seeing what rested under the carriage's back seat, a large wooden lockbox. Despite its hefty appearance, the box was surprisingly easy to handle. Within a few minutes, Jesper had dislodged it from its hold and carried it out to the sunlight. Inspecting the box carefully, two observations were made. Totemic symbols found carved on all four sides of the box hinted that the box was very old and likely not created by Orindian hands. It reminded him of artifacts from the old world, and it was presumably crafted in one of the ancient realms. Secondly, the box was secured by a rusted yet robust padlock and would not open easily without a key. Jesper looked over to see the driver quietly observing from his undeterred position. Do you perhaps have a key you can provide me to open this box? Without emotion, the driver replied, there is no key to that box. Jesper stood up. Easy enough, then. He headed over to a nearby rock of sizable dimensions and lifted the stone up, carrying it back to the box. If there was ever a time when that lock had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. With one hit, the stone had completely shattered the rusted lock. He bent back down and opened the lid, and inside was an effigy, a crude figure chiseled from stone. Without too much deliberation, Jesper bent down and picked it up, somewhat surprised how heavy it seemed given how light the box had felt. Having expected to find something more akin to gold and gems, he looked questioningly to the man, hoping to find an explanation. The driver's smile had once again returned. You are cursed, boy, for deadly is the stone. You have opened that which should never have been opened, and you are cursed. Jesper carried the effigy over to the man and shoved it in front of his face. What is it? That's one. Feeling his disappointment rising to anger now, Jesper tightened his grip on the effigy. One what? You mumbling Argentor. Okay, I'm going to note that word down. And in God's name, why have you no purse upon your person? The man did not seem intimidated. One pace, he paused for effect. 12 more and you will be dead. He only had a second to flinch before the effigy struck him in the head and put an end to his cryptic ramblings. If there was ever a time when the old man had been resistant to brute force, it wasn't recent. Jesper looked at the sculpted stone figure, now splattered red. Was it cursed? Was he cursed? He had of course heard stories of curses and had never doubted their validity in the past. But now that he was standing face to face with the possibility of being cursed, his mind pleaded with him to be skeptical. And if he was cursed, what difference would the knowledge make? A dozen more paces would not be enough to find another living soul, to say nothing of the chances of procuring a remedy. If he did not move from where he now stood, he could live maybe another 3 or 4 days, maybe more given the abundance of nearby berries, a plan that, if we ignore its obvious faults, might provide additional opportunities for help to come along. But what good would that do? To be discovered here, beside a body, with stolen goods in hand, bloated from berries and raving about a curse that could very well not be real. No, it would most certainly be better to face one's fate now, take a dozen paces and see if life goes on. But Jesper found his legs unable to take that first step. His mind was unable to convince his limb to waste away 1/12 of his life in a single motion. Feeling the desperation sink in, he hopelessly looked around him for a solution, and if by some stroke of luck the gods had heard his plea, a miracle materialized before him as he found himself suddenly at the end of a fairy tale. 2 white horses and a carriage of golden trim were beside him, the answer to his immediate prayers. He laughed at his fortune and calculated the short number of paces back to the road. 4, perhaps 3 if he jumped. He made a quick survey as if there was anything he wished to grab before taking the plunge. He thought about removing the driver's fancy coat, as that appeared to be some sort of value, but the additional risk of undertaking such a task too great a chance. And so after a profound breath he took his 2nd, 3rd and 4th steps, though they were quite large. Seated now behind the horses, he reached for the reins and suddenly realized that he was still gripping the effigy. If the curse was real, then it would most certainly be better left here. On the other hand, the story was fictitious. There might be some appraisal that could be made of the figure. It was, after all, found within a lockbox, whose typical function oft secures objects of value. Having witnessed firsthand the horrors of destitution, Jesper found his mind equally reluctant to allow his hand let go. If it is cursed, I die. If not today, then tomorrow. And if I die, what care have I? With that statement he said aloud to the horses seemingly. Jesper took up the reins with confidence. That's part 1. Ooh. Okay. Definitely getting some story involved here. Sorry about my squeaky chair. Definitely getting into some story here. I do know through some spoilers that Cursed Effigy is part of this game, so this may be part of how to find it, because I've heard that's part of the final endgame win game to get that. So what is going on? Alright, part 2, Below the Black Bridge. Ooh, okay, we're taking a different look here. The Cursed Effigy, 13 steps, okay. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, then stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on third watch today. Quietly collecting her things and wits, Miller turned as she left, waving to her young friend who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth of the cavern, ready to start her shift. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved and Ravia waved back. Calling out to each other was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture in the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia lowered the braided rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, and saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. He turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured the pail to the rope. The pail went up first, and in turn Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. There was not much room for manoeuvring in this tree post, a necessary concession for the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she had been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing onto Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring and noisy of a joke, and had the others been around, they would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted noise. But Miller appreciated the efforts Ravia took to verbalise the silence of the morning. They had been on third watch together for over a month, and during that speechless time, their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds. He had felt camaraderie before, but of course, intimacy, never. From the elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Black Bridge was the link between the Gentry lands and the northern mountains, the overpass that connected Oris to Reddington. For the city-faring travellers of the realm, the bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travellers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure that they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable to farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-house bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expressions, nor to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbow and pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly shook her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds used in lieu of words, but the two of them had developed an extended vocabulary. Gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their mouth among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew that she was trying to say what shook her head a second time. It was often more fun to pretend not to understand. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinting through the leaves, the two girls held still, watching and listening. It was not long until Miller too heard the sound of approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers, and a few moments later 2 men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform, with long grey cloaks with black facings, white waistcoats, and a black tricorn hat. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard. Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveller's impending passage across the bridge. Information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear, but this report, while exciting, was rarely acted upon. In Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she had never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard was nearby. The men had never nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses, faintly at first but growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, the same concern mirrored in each other's expression. This did not sound like the typical carriage cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoofbeats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking through the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go. Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, racing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion, and both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. This was a Blackguard attack. The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She expected cavalry. Before she even finished processing that thought, her second arrow was in the air without a trail. It would have been unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. Yet she watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. A third arrow now in flight, and there would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch, slamming into an embankment. The force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the front two wheels and catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if any horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep and tripping over one another in a desperate attempt to engage an unseen enemy in combat. Miller could see Ravia among their number, the only one looking up at her. Her expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized: they had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others cautiously approaching the crashed carriage like a suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forward in customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, an arrow protruding from his broken body, and beside him a blood-stained effigy carved from stone. Young Jesper. Miller was inconsolable. Jesper had always been her favourite. He had always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move, the way a child trails behind an older sibling. Tender-hearted she had always called him, though deep down she had known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed a raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous of situations. He had been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, honed by a grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in the darkness, in the black of one of the larger cabin rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief that he treasured. The mysterious effigy that they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, a marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar sword markings neighbouring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and the rattling of the earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. Panic was also in the air. The sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering of feet filled the space around her. But even alarmed, the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes and used her feet to guide her along the passage. The whispers around her were getting louder and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she had ever spoken in the canyon. A growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced, and Miller did not need to see her to understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's cheek, and with that touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Frederick Lee of the Black Guard looked down from the ridge of the canyon and collapsed the entrance to the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. And that appears to be the end. Huh. Okay, that doesn't seem like it should be the end of the story, but it is. Alright, so we picked up a little bit of information from that. So it sounds like the effigy, which we will need to find, is buried behind a cave-in. The cave-in, there is a cave-in underneath near the sanctum. I was wondering if that needed to be opened. I'm going to head back to the grotto. I want to actually look at that one for a moment. Got no other reason to go downstairs to the sanctum at the moment. I do want to go to the grotto. Check that out. I thought we could access multiple security points. Is there a... bridge. Visible. Grab the microchips out of the sundial. Bring them back, because I want to actually head out the back throne room. Not the throne room, where we got the no, I'm seeing that stuttering as well. Hang on, I'm going to close a couple of windows. Like I said, I need a new processor, and it seems to be that is the problem. Task manager, I'm going to need you. Shut down Chrome. Running the background. Right. Hopefully that is going to fix the problems on stream. Seems to be looking at my other screen, so like Chrome was trying to do 3 billion things. Alright, we want to get the microchips in here. Powers everything up. That opens that door, that's fine. Yeah, it looks like Chrome was sapping my processing power. Admin key here was Lee B. Was terminal timeout. That's what I changed. That's what I changed. So once I log into it once, it'll stay active for a month. That's what I did. So it did save all that stuff. Now, okay, I understand what I've done, but either way, I want to, with that story now in mind, check out back here. Is there any sort of bridge? Because that looks like the driveway there. I mean, we did have a reasonable look around here when we came up here the first time. Is that Reddington there? That's just a fence. So there is a limit to how far I can travel. Yeah, I don't think it was worth... Don't think there was anything more further out here. It's okay. I just wanted to have a look. I wasn't sure if Blackbridge Grotto was part of the hiding place for the effigy or not. I don't think we can do anything further today, so I'm going to head back to the break room and call it a day in there. Get a key card for tomorrow. I'm just checking we can't do anything further. Did we dig in the... No, we've dug after we found that. Bugger, we didn't give that one a trigger. That's okay. It is okay. Break room is over there. There wasn't anything to dig today? No, there wasn't. That's very unfortunate. Today has been a short day, and we will call it there. Charming cottage sounds pretty good. I'm thinking power shovel is what we need to find or craft together. Unfortunately, that book didn't provide me information I was hoping it would provide, but that is alright. We now know which book we want to get into the library. We want History of Arinda into the library. Hopefully that'll help us with the last few sigils. Shelter Root Cellar Trading Post. I might go trading post and come back here later. Ooh. I think we go mail room. That'll come in handy later on. Don't need to go in there though. Ooh. We don't need the utility closet today. So we'll start with the spare bedroom. Nothing in here, unfortunately. Go observatory. Nothing on the table today. Pick up a quick little bonus. Green rooms are more likely to contain gems and an extra key. I will take those. Oh, I like that kennel. Kennel first. Woof woof. Doggo gets a pat. Pat the doggo. Do you want pats? No? No? You want pats. Happy doggo. There is a digging spot there today. Storeroom or funeral parlor? I'm gonna go storeroom. Sledgehammer, I will take. Much prefer the shovel at the moment, but I will gladly take a sledge. Pantry's force there, unfortunately. Pool is forced. But I will take the 2 crates in the bottom. Roll dice, some coin, and a bunch of gems. For next to nothing. Nothing on the tower today. We do have the swimming shorts. Do I go kitchen or funeral parlour? I think we'll go funeral parlour. We won't solve the puzzle yet. Come back here later. Workshop's not a bad one. Have a shovel in here. We have the broken lever. Jackhammer is a possibility. Power hammer is a possibility today. Just need a battery. Walk-in closet. Yes. Give me something useful. Shoes and lucky rabbit's foot and 2 gems. Not the best haul out of here, but lucky rabbit's foot may come in handy. Ooh. As much as a den's nice, I'm gonna go corridor here. Oh, that's terrible. That's not what I need. Something heading north minimum. No. Should have gone the den on the last one. Oh no, it's terrible. Oh, we trapped? We're trapped. We're trapped on the 3rd rank. Shovel's in there. That's... Alright, break room. We're going to call it a day in here. We're going to start with the security card tomorrow. There is a pointless orange sitting on the bench. Oh, that's unfortunate. Should have gone the den on the last one, but that's alright. We'll deal with it. 20 is 20. Excuse me? Nine? No. 6? It is. 3rd times 3 is 1. 1/3 of that is 7. Okay, why are we working in base 3? That's silly. Alright. I'll go solve the parlor puzzle, funeral parlor puzzle, and then come back. Because we do need to complete 40 of the parlor puzzles for a trophy, so I may as well solve it. Boxes next to this box contains gems, that would be white. Boxes next to this box contain gems. Boxes next to this box contain gems. Okay. If they're in the white box, both blue and red, blue and black are true. White is false. If they're in the blue box. Box is. White is always false. Because it's plural. Therefore, one of the others must be true. Therefore, it's in white. Take my gem, go back to the break room, and call it a day. That's an unfortunate day. Didn't get past rank 3. Yeah, but we did place an order in the mail room, so that's always a good start. But, yeah, that's a quick day. And with that, Happy New Year. It is January 1st. We got out of the house early to party. it's a new year. It is now 1994. Happy days. Alright, let us go back outside and have a quick look around. Let us go a shrine. Alright, now what are we up to on our counting on the shrine? Not that page, not that page. That one. That one. Found it. We were up to 5 coins, so let's see what the bonus of 6 coins gives us. There's Blessing of the Gardener, so 5 and 6. So it seems to come in pairs. 1 and 2 were the same, 3 and 4 were the same, 5 and 6 were the same. But extra courtyards are not a bad thing, because that's essentially free gems. Break room is more useful than pantry. Don't really need the coins at the moment. Den, please. Early courtyard. Or do I get a spare bedroom out? We have a spare bedroom because the den can fill that space, so I'm okay with that. Nook for the keys. Nothing on the magnifying glass, that is handy. I will. Ooh. I'm going to go utility closet here. May sound not the smartest idea, but I'm just going to put the utility closet in that one. We may be able to go for the Mechanarium bonus today. We got Danny in here, pick up a gem. Something that branches north, please. Hallway is not great, but I'll take it. Something that branches left, or storeroom is not terrible. Although the pool will get me the pump room available, so I think I'm going to go pool here in hope of getting the pump room later on. Can't do anything about those at the moment. Ooh. Courtyard for gems is not terrible. Get some gems, possibly a shovel. Yes, a shovel. Yes, 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 yes. Nothing of interest buried there. That's unfortunate. One key I will take. Workshop, definitely. Broken lever, that is a good start. Could get power shovel today. Could get power shovel. Go a key. We'll go courtyard for the gems. There's a hammer. That is handy. I think we'll go chapel there. Far enough north here. We can drop a dead end room. Boiler room, yes please. So we are at 1, 2, 3 mechanical rooms. That's a good start. What are the other mechanical rooms that we need? They are, I believe, in this string here. We've got utility closet, we've got boiler room. We want pump, security, lab. Six. Mechanarium itself counts, doesn't it? None of those ones count. What's the 8th mechanical room? I thought there was 8 for some reason. We've drafted every room, so we have all the rooms. Yeah, it must only be 7. So it's mechanarium, entryway, has 1 door for each. Yeah, it must be including itself, so. Alright. Do I go another courtyard or observatory? Can I go another courtyard? Sounds odd, but I want the gems. Gems are running a little low for my liking. Smash a box open. 3 keys is excellent. That's not. I will gladly take a bunch of extra steps. Yeah, I am still running the pawn. Unfortunately, have not unlocked further. Ah, we are rank 8. Here we go. We don't need the night bonus. Don't really need money. Don't really have any rooms left on the west, on this side, but lose 5 steps. I've got plenty of steps. I'll take the power of the queen. Purely because I can only draft one more room on this side of the house. So that is 1 key for 5 steps, which is not anything to sneeze at. So I got that one. That's been dug up. I only get the filing key once. Is it just sitting on the tables? Filing cabinet key I can't get again. Okay. Um. Do I go storeroom for the keys? Gift shop seems the most useful to me though. Even though I can't afford the 110 for whatever it was. Treasure trove is nice though. And I need to write down the secrets of the treasure trove. It's that page. The blue box with a moon on it. You have a green note. Pink boxes marked with the moon always contains false statements. Alright, it's a green note, so we don't know if that one's true or not. But we do know we got a lot of money. And we can get our key back from this one because this is Power of the Queen. Storeroom is perfect spot for that. Alright, let us head south from here. I don't like any of those. Go with the sauna. 20 extra steps is nice. There is a gem in there, so that's worth burning the step. And that's right, I'll get gems out of the courtyards now because of the patio. What do we got here? Not great. Both of those rooms are the same. Boudoir here because I wanted to rotate that one first before I hit it. Oh, that was a silly mistake. I wanted to rotate that with the dovecote. That's alright, I'm only burning steps. Extra calories are going. Would have saved me a coin coming back in here and 2 steps, but alright, strangely enough, I actually want, because I want mechanical rooms, there's an increased chance of me getting the lab if I power this up first. Do I have passage over here? No, I do not. So I want the top one operational. I want you to flip over first, or you're flowing to it. Switch you around. You 1. Turn you up. We'll turn that one over there. Click you over. So we want security and the lab. What was the other one? Pump room. All 3 require power, so that is... It would be handy if we could get those come through here. There is security. Excellent. Now we have a key card. Yes, we do. So we want to up the instance of security doors. And let us see if we can get another experiment running. I'm not sure what the bonus to from the grotto is doing to me. Let's get an experiment. Well, we're already over 2 bedrooms, so I'm going to go with that one. Increase my allowance. Extra money is good money. We shall progress this. No, that's south. Furnace is powered. I don't want to go furnace. Pump room is good. Passageway is powered? Interesting. I did not know that. And that is a good spot for a passageway. Interesting. The locker room is powered. A bunch of rooms I didn't know had power connections. I'm gonna go dark room. Chance I find something in here when I come back. That's a powered room, so I'm going to pick that one regardless and hope. Archive is not great. I can work with it. How many steps? I've got 47. Powered room. I think this is not the pump room. Pump room is good. Gets back to security. That's fine. I want to head to utility closet at the moment. Right, so we'll go out through this door. Archive plan. Furnace is not ideal, but that does get me a key. Alright, we want utility closet, and to head north from the pool, we want to find the lab and then the mechanarium. Where are we? Utility closet straight through to the nook. Now turn the gymnasium off just in case it turns up. I don't think it will. We will briefly head back to the pool to fill that one, just in case. I'll go for the one that cost me nothing. That is rather unfortunate. Closed exhibit is one of the last ones I wanted to see there, but that's okay, because that one would have been handy later on. With 3 security doors, that one would have been nice. I should not have come that way. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. Dining room popping up would be awesome as well. Dining room and kitchen are 2 rooms I want to see soon. Nothing's powered here. That is unfortunate. We'll go funeral parlour, but we won't go in there yet. Gem, I'll take that. Anything else of note in here? Usually there's an item of some variety. Just the gem today. Oh well. Being low on keys. Not great. We're going to redraw. Oh, that's unfortunate. We'll go aquarium. It's fine. Allowance has been raised because aquarium counts as a bedroom. 2 keys is well worth that cost. Dead end room. Conference room. Not be terrible. Dining room I would prefer, but I'll take a conference room. Commissary, yes please. There are bananas. I am taking some bananas. And as many keys as I can carry. No, I'll get the gems regardless. 8 gems should be more than enough today. Now I'm not going to go out through that door. I'm going to go back to the passageway and hope that we can get a electrical connection. Please be lab. Laundry is not what I wanted to see. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. I don't know why I thought that would be lab. Lab doesn't cost gems. This is powered for the first time. All your steps with all your gems. All your stars with your allowance. That would up my allowance by 28. Is it worth restarting all my stars? I think it almost is. Take my allowance up to 55. I think that's worth it. Oh no, it changed my allowance into stars. Oh, I did it the other way. That's... What? Did it? Yeah, it lowered my allowance, up my stars. It did it the wrong way. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. I wanted more money. Now, there was something in the aquarium that was pointed in here being possibly a dig site. Don't think I'm going to find it. Oh, that is annoying. Oh, bollocks. Alright, what is my play from here? I think go down, play the funeral parlour game. End the day in the break room. Yeah, I can't do anything more, I don't think. So close. So close. Gymnasium. Oh, do I go office? Do I want office? No, because I can't adjust the chess pieces regardless, so we'll go the archive one. Lost and found wouldn't have been terrible. There's a bedroom, that's an allowance increase. Key that's not going to do anything for me. Puzzle is harder than it seems. This box is empty. This box is empty. This puzzle is rather easy, it's here. Three, four, five, six, seven, 8 red rooms. Got more gems than I know what to do with, but I can't go anywhere. Oh, back to the break room. End the day. Bugger. So close. 2 rooms away from getting another sanctum key. Unfortunate, but what do you do? Alright. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't think anything further. No. That's it, we're calling it. At least the bonuses out of the observatory are going to be nice, so slight yay, but less money to start the day with is not great, but making money is easy. Especially if you get Tomb Treasure Trove as a combination. Right, sauna steps. We got plenty of steps today, so hover would not be a bad choice out of the outer room. Or do I go tomb? All good options. I don't think I've got much reason to pick tomb. Unless I get the Geist bedroom. A tool shed. A hammer and a shovel to start. Oh yes, that is... That is nice. If you have been enjoying the stream, hit that follow, hit that like. Subscribe, all the buttons. All the buttons are good buttons. Conference room. And of course there's the guy's bedroom straight away. Your bedroom. Den and courtyard are the same, but we'll go the den. And there's plenty of courtyards in the deck today. Early security, I think. We will go a storeroom because we do have a corner already there from security. We don't need door there. But let us set high security. And get an experiment going. Let's see if we can get some more crates cleared out of the tunnel. I like removing crates from tunnels. Each time you draft a shop, each time you find trash while digging. We have got lots of courtyards, so we are likely to find a lot of trash. Alright, laboratory looks very nice there, so unfortunately that's wasting one possible terminal, which is not great. I'll go a study there, that's fine, that's a free gem. Possibly another item, no other item on the table, that's unfortunate. Not today. Oh no, coins, we found some coins. Any fruit on the tables back here? Doesn't look like it. Chapel's almost forced here, and I'm fine with that. Garage for keys would not be terrible. I'm okay with garage. Keys on the other side. No. No random items just hanging around. I have a dig spot. I'll take that. Key, that's okay. Six keys, 2 gems. That's not a bad position to be in. I'll go back to the conference room. That's a pen. That's okay. I thought that was a key on the table. Oh, I don't have. Oh, that's annoying. I'm gonna put the utility closet in here. We might make another mechanarium run. Might. Oh, nothing doesn't count as clearing. Oh, that's unfortunate. I need to find something for it to clear. Oh. And of course, I get to pick a day where there's only 2 dig spots in the foundation. Yeah, I did want to try drafting the tunnel all the way to the top, but that's not going to work today. Some dice. I'll take some dice. I'm going to go to the library. And we're going to put an order in for another book. Now we went through History of Erindia last night. That's right. Sightseer's Guide to Reddington. I don't think it's going to help us. I think we picked up all we can get from Realm and Rune. There's an achievement for winning the sweepstakes in the drafting strategies. I'm not sure which volume that one's in. I'm going to pick 5 just in case it's in there. T-shaped room would be nice here. Gift shop. Dead end would be handy. Ooh, how many hallways do I have? None. Okay, funeral parlour it is. Ooh, observatory is very handy in that spot. I am running low on gems. Get my gem back. Get a key. Tasty apples. Not a bad haul. Dark room I think is okay because I'm not too far away. I can backtrack to the utility closet. Oh, hang on. Oh, I need to go in it first. Oh, I'm a moron. Oh, no, that was wasteful. You turn the lights off, then you turn them back on. Thank God I picked up 20 extra steps from the sauna. Oh no, that worked. Okay. Broken lever, that's okay. Seems to be what you find in this room is the broken lever. I'm going to put tunnel there. Oh. Three. Not a great one. Let's re-roll. I want break room eventually. Archive is not great, but we'll go with it. Something I want to try here with the tunnel. I'm not finding trash in these digging spots today. I know that's a tunnel, so I am going to go with it. Oh, of course, on a day when I set an experiment to find me trash, it gives me coins. Yeah, I want to see what happens if we draft tunnel all the way to the end. We're never going on to the west rank, so that is fine. There isn't even a dig spot here. Oh. Dovecoats here. That's interesting. Huh. So if you dig all the way up here to the far end, you get 2 gems and a Morajai puzzle. You need orange in the corners, do we? Black moves horizontal, pink rotates. Alright, so that was a handy little experiment there. Oh, there's a dig spot. Give me some useless stuff. The one day you don't want to be finding coins and keys in the dig spots, the one day it just... That drawer that I opened is still open. Is still open. I can open that any time. Can't go that way. Where are we? Dining room is not a bad choice. Bunch of steps. We've not found a showroom. Still only 10 AM. I would ideally like to be able to move south here, so we'll go archive, just hoping for East Wing Hall, and we get East Wing Hall. I would gladly take a courtyard for the dig spots and gems. Plenty of gems. Sledgehammer. Alright, dig spots, fail me please. Of course you don't. Like the one day you want it to fail. No! Come on! I mean, I'm not complaining I'm getting the keys, but... Oh. Greater chance of finding green rooms. That is not a bad problem to have. Especially when we've got gems to kill. There we go. Crate's been removed from the tunnel. Excellent. Another crate's been removed. Hello, thank you. Reroll dice and some more coin. Commissary's fine. Don't think I'm going to be able to buy much from here. We got bananas, which we don't really need. Coins on the ground. No. I've not counted. I can go out and have a look once we're done here today. Bunch of keys sitting over there. Let's pick up 3 keys. I poked my head in there last night before we finished up, and it looked like there was at least another 12 or 13. Could be more. Pantry's actually fine here. Of course, I find an orange when apples are extra tasty today. I'm going to go break room, because that would be handy for tomorrow. Anything hidden over here? Not today. Three is 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Oh, jeez. Was it 15 divided by 3 is 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. Minus 20 is 5. Divided by 5 is 1. No. 3, 6, 4. negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. We square that, we get 25. Minus 20. Oh, I've seen what I've forgotten to square at that point. Oh, it is 20. So negative 15 divided by 3 is negative 5. Squared is 25. Minus 20 is 5. Square that to get to 5. Divided by 5 is 5. How many rooms have we picked up? 24? 8, 30. Okay. We shall go courtyard. Classroom doesn't help us. Yet another key. Turnip. Not the worst thing in the world. More dice and coins. Bunch of gems. Alright, where are we? Try this door first. We'll go another courtyard. Chance to get some more crates out of the way. Another crate has been removed. Hooray! Coins is acceptable. Where are we here? We want to move any direction, really? Workshop is handy. Give me a battery. Give me a battery. Do I go the sledge? Because there are 3 rooms I want for the sledge, isn't there? Where is my notes? I wrote those down. I want the sledgehammer for the greenhouse, the chess room, and the weight room. I think unlocking in the chess room is going to be the most beneficial short term. I do want to dig out. Oh, do I go the shovel? Because that's another item I haven't crafted yet, I don't think. I have crafted it. Sledge or the shovel? I'm going to go to sledge. There's a... I think there's a stronger chance of coming across greenhouse and... greenhouse I would need to draft right here. So that is a possibility with reroll dice. Although conservatory is a better option. Weight room I can still pick up, so I'm going to go conservatory. Two digging spots in the conservatory, don't get that too often. A brick, that's another crate removed. What have we got here? Yes, I'm willing to put that one down to standard. Secret passage. Toss a gem. That one's standard. Terrace, we want that one common. I want to see terrace all the time. That will save a lot of gems. Hello? Have items usually spawned there? If they have, I've never seen them. I'll gladly take those. Shall use a key. Closed exhibit. Coat check is not useful here. By the closed exhibit, lost and found bugs me. Don't have the money to make the showroom useful. Wine cellar would not be a bad play, but I've got the gems. Go the archive plan. The mailroom is not what I wanted at all. Alright, head back to the other courtyard. We want the weight room. Ideally. Treasure trove is coin. I don't really need the coin. Got all these rerolls. I may as well use them. Roll the dovecoat the other way. There is lots of spots to dig in the dovecoat. Keys and coins. I don't need keys and coins. Still that chest of letters that we've seen before. Alright, weight room, throne room. Oh, hello. You are pointing in a direction I don't really need you to point. Aren't getting into room 46 today, so there's no point actually doing the throne room. I'm going to hit this and hope. Lost and found. I am not going to go in there in case it steals my hammer. Alright, we're going to go back to the archive. We're going to burn all our dice, hoping for the weight room. Is office worth it? Office, I've got office would be a king. Study is a queen. Hang on, chess puzzle, chess puzzle. Study would be my queen. Office is my king. Got a chapel for a bishop. Observatory for a knight. Did I pick up a nook? Didn't. I've got conservatory for a rook. So office, yes. Chess puzzle, reset. There is no reason to go in there at all. I can't get anything from it. That is absolutely fine. Right, we are sneaking our way back to the library. And now we head outside to see how we go. Go through the bedroom to get a couple of steps. I didn't even... Stop and check out the car. I want to just check that note that's in the driver's seat again, because I've not looked at it for a while. Just want to double check I've not missed anything of importance. Alright, I don't think there's much importance on that one. Compass and a treasure map. Oh, we're already here. The treasure is here. I think. No, the treasure is one step up. Oh, no. In a room we can't get to. That's unfortunate. Anyway, off we head. We can do the chess puzzle, but we wanted to check out the tunnel first, and we can have a quick nosy in the tunnel first. Plenty of steps to play with. Looking a little emptier, but as you can see from back here, there is a large number of crates. We've got, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, at least 20. Probably close to 25 still to go. So we're going to be needing to crack on with those lab experiments. We cleared about 5 today. 5 today. Right here. Alright. That is a code of some variety. Where am I going to put it on this one? We have castle. There's 6 3-letter words. I think I know where I need to go for a couple of these. One is the kennel. The other is Blackbridge Grotto. But for now, hang on, castle in a... Oh, it's castle in a chess... Okay. I know the rook's there. I drafted the office there. Study was down here. Chapel was there. Observatory? Den. What happens if I not interact with this now? Oh. What happens if I go from king to the rook? That's what you do with when you castle in chess. You move the king first and then the rook. The rook's not a huge power upgrade. I'll take Banner of the King. Next time we unlock this, I want to pick the rook. Remind me of that one, chat. I want to unlock the rook next time I get the chess puzzle solved. Arrow of the King, which is a handy upgrade. Two places I want to go before we finish up today. First one is over here, because I reckon that note that's been sitting on the wall over here is part of the clue. Not 1 and 100, they're I's and O's, they are letters. Just looking at their position. I think the I goes next to the C. I don't think I've got enough information to go further, but I'm fairly sure C-A-S-T-L-E. A and the E don't have the vowels next to them. The other one is in the kennel. There's that picture of the cat. Makes me think that one of the C and the A are related to the word castle. T belongs on the bottom of something else. Alright, from here we have Power Hammer, but I don't think I can use it anywhere. Just looking. No, so I'm going to make my way back to the break room. Cut through the bedroom, make sure I don't run out of steps. In the underground, I wanted the power shovel for that one. Actually, I could take a quick... Can I get there from this side? No. I could take a quick look. I think the power shovel is what I need. I don't think I'm going to run out of steps. So long as I can get back to the break room, I am laughing. Tall's definitely the quicker way to get back. I don't think... Power shovel might do something there, but I don't think it will. That hollow looks suspicious, but it's intact. Down here I was curious about this side. I think power shovel might be the answer, but I could be completely wrong. Yeah. Power hammer was not looking like it was going to do anything there, that's okay. Drain the reservoir to 0, exposed all the crates on the bottom, which gave me two things. It gave me an allowance token and it gave me a sanctum key. I believe everything else down there is just notes. I could unlock them, but I haven't got... At the moment, water level is very high in the reservoir, so I can't use my spare keys to go down and unlock the rest of the boxes. I think I've got 10 or 11 left to unlock. Two more uses of the power hammer from what I can gather. And now I can head back to the break room, call it a day. Actually, no, I'm going to jump in here quickly because I didn't do this puzzle. Hopefully it doesn't stuff me up. Gems are in the blue box. Only one statement is true. Gems are only in the only true box. Gems are in the blue box. Assuming that is true, they'd be over here. Gems are in the only true box. That would be false, because the only true box would then be black. Only one statement is true, and then that would contradict that, so there would be two true statements. Oh. Only one true statement. The gems are in the only true box. Okay, so if this was true, the gems are in the blue box. That would be false. That would be true, but the thing is that says only true box. So if this is true, then if the gems are in here, black is true, and therefore there would be two true boxes. Gems were here. Black would be false. This one would be true, and then like then blue would be true, and I'd have two true statements again. So if the gems are here, that's a lie. Yep, so they're in the black box. I hope I don't stuff myself up here. Oi! Only one that didn't create two true boxes. Alright, where am I? Break room, east wing hall through the pantry. Okay, and I don't believe we can do anything more. We removed 5 crates, but we still need to remove another 20 or so. It's going to be a while to dig through all those. Alright, we will call it a day. Slow moving. Alright, and we have the power of the king again. Shrine is giving us bonuses on courtyards. That's still active? Not sure. I think it is, for another day. Blessing of the Gardener is still active. Schoolhouse. Yes, please. Alright, and then we're going to take the blue. Doesn't sound right, but increase the chance of schoolhouse being drawn. I am for an early nook. Ooh. Chamber of Mirrors today. That would actually be handy because there is a lot of stuff in this room. Takes a few steps to work this one through, but that one is okay. Orange over there is reflected around, so there's what, 4 oranges in here? There are 4 oranges, so we're going to get the steps back. Or nook or break room. Break room is probably better, just. Nothing over here today. Alright though. 5 is 5. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Oi! A third minus a third is 0. 5 is 20 is still 0, plus a third of 18 is 6. 5 plus 10 is 15, negative 15. Divided by 3 is negative 5 squared is 25. The same problem as last time. Minus 20 gets me to 5 squared is 25. Divided by 5 is 5. 2 keys. So equal value to the nook besides progressing on the trophy. Drawing room. Wait, what? Second. What? Second break room. I'll go drawing room because that allows me to get into the Chamber of Mirrors. We will redraw that one. Den is nice. Where are my classrooms? Second break room. I don't know why I would want a second break room. Utility closet can go there. I don't need to go in that. Attic. Very nice. I will take that. Secret garden key. A lockpick. I'm hoping I have better luck tonight than the 1 from 11 I got last night. Broken lever and coin purse. And a battery. Oh, that is... Find me a shovel and I am happy. Find me a shovel and I am happy. I want to know where all my classrooms have gone though. No classrooms yet. Not that I'm going to be able to do much with them. I am down to 1 gem. Oh, don't go in that way. Don't go in that way. Take an orange, push a button. Opened up that side. Nothing over there. We want to find a workshop today. Not be terribly tricky. That side. Not ideal for that to happen. I think I want to come in from the opposite side there. Right, I think I want that one down. No, I do want that one up. I want this one down. I've got access over there when I get up. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm wondering if the Banner of the King is overriding the classrooms. I hope it doesn't. Oh, you are... No, 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 no. Okay, spare bedroom's forced there. That is... Oh, that is awful. Oh, yeah. Classroom's what I want. Cupcake. Classroom would be nice. Nothing on the tables, nothing on the tables. Running low on gems, but we'll deal. We're going to redraw that one. I'd like the lab, but workshop will get me my power shovel. Sledge. Take it. Battery pack, shovel, broken lever, jackhammer assemble. And can I do anything with lockpick card? No. Uppen's sledge doesn't work, that's fine. Thought I would have a look. All those upgrades on lockpicking done nothing for me. I am out of gems. Nook is forced. This is not turning into the day I was hoping it would turn into. Give me a den. I'll take that gem and hopefully find something that will turn me south. Of course I can't pick that one. Why would I be able to do that? classroom, please. Nothing on the tables. Yeah, this is not the greatest run. Let us go to library. Take a key. Drafting strategies 3. Raxus is the god of the dead. Dead end rooms, yes, we know about. Vaya is the chimney sweep. What we found out. Blessing of the general, blessing of the monk. Huh. That's an interesting one. Come late in the day. Yeah, so we've experienced a few of these. We don't know where they come from. I'm probably better off. Where's my page on... the shrine here. Shrine, we should just have dancer. No, is there tinkerer, berry picker, chef, gardener, general, monk, high roller. High roller is on days 3 and 4. Gardener is on days 5 and 6. The dancer is on days 1 and 2. Commas in. And 11 was the tinkerer. They're the days we've come across so far. "20 dead end rooms." That's what it is. Oh, I haven't got the magnifying glass with me to read that, do I? Oh, okay. Volume 3, and I need a magnifying glass. Good to know. Out of gems. Oh, and that's just going to end my run. Let's go Dovecote. Go the Dovecote, which is not great. Multiple keys. Alright, so that was not completely useless, but I did get no gems out of that. Is not great. Candle is something I wanted to look at, so I'm going to do that now. This is going to be a busted school day run. But, what do you do? This picture here with the cat. I'm just guessing based on difference of height there. That T is next to the E. Of course I can't pick the lock here. Freezer is not a bad one. Saves me my gems. Not my gems, my coins. Till tomorrow. Extra 33 coins to start the day. And we are done. So we are going to go back to the underground. See if the jackhammer does anything in that tunnel. I think I made a mistake by selecting the Power of the King on a day when I was trying to beat the school. If anything, I should have gone green. Give me some increased chances of courtyards. And I've stuffed up, yeah, chamber of mirrors. I didn't get to the center. So that was rather unfortunate. So for a rare card like Chamber of Mirrors, that's not the best result. I want to actually see if this is anything important down here. Apparently not. I was hoping I'd be able to clear that. Oh, that's disappointing. I mean, the jackhammer's not bad in terms of picking up extra items. Yeah, that is rather unfortunate. Don't think there's, yeah, any dynamite or anything. With which to clear that tunnel, so a little disappointed, but we'll roll with it. Not as productive a day as I'd like. Where do we want to head? Break room is right next to the entrance. With that, I think we may call it a touch early tonight. I don't think we're going to have time for another day of this one. So I will get back to that break room and we will call it a day and I'll call it a night for the stream. But if you have enjoyed the stream tonight, hit that follow, hit that like. Watch these replays over on YouTube. Link down below. But yeah, we'll be back next Friday. I'm actually working on probably doing something a little bit different on Friday because Fridays are usually fairly quiet, so I may as well experiment. What that will be, I'm still working out, but back on Friday at midday UTC, so that's midday in the UK, 10 PM in Australian Eastern, and 8 AM American Eastern. But until then, I've been Fritz, you've been you. Take care, have a good day, see you next time.